All right, so coming to
Huzzah!
the end of the week here. There you go, Celio. Get your shine time. Um, you've got a weekly candle on IWM, which, funny enough, right, is the second candle that opened up in range and has stayed in this range. We did see some forward progression. We have held up our floor, and so you can, rest assured that 221 is your weekly floor and your 24-hour cost basis. So it's important, right, that we stay above our cost basis. And right now, as we near the end of the day, we are approaching that 24-hour 50% mark. And this, of course, I, I'm with you guys, could give us that retest. Right now, it's 221 on the 4 hour here that we're looking at a touchdown that's a little bit below, but that would serve as a bounce area. But one thing that we have to do when we're looking inside of a box, and yes, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So we're getting close to that third wave, is we have to look at what's above and what's below, right? And that is also on the lower time frame. So as of right now, and you guys obviously are feeling this, but there is a nice block, and that is refusing the floor above it, which would ultimately separate you from moving through the range above, which it's just a range, and potentially moving back up because of the empty space that was left behind, right? And I think the target, at least on a lower time frame, would be 224. So going into the weekend, right? Do we bank on IWM finishing and dumping all the way down to 218? That's really all you can speculate on, right? When you're inside of a box and with IWM, we're up against cost basis. So if you want to trade it down to the floor or, look beyond that, that's your prerogative. And, is that, and I think, let's just be straightforward. Is that a signal now to dump? No. Is it the second rejection off of the top? A potential catalyst to, at minimum, send us to the floor? Yeah. So play that how you want. I want the structural break, and hopefully, maybe by the end of the day, we can get some consolation on that. But as of right now, this box is your torture chamber. Enjoy. All right, so QQQ, same difference, right? But the only difference here, well, again, we're at all-time highs. You've so far retraced 50% of yesterday's gains, bounced, and are trying to hold up that wick at 560. Go to the 4 hour, that's the wick right there, and that's preventing you from retesting 559.57. And that becomes even clearer as you move down to the 2 hour. And I mean, you can go ahead and call that bounced off of. So if you're, again, this isn't a, if you have the capital to speculate, I wouldn't frown upon it. But channel wise and tension wise, right, with what's below and what's below above, um, there is room to look for maybe a little bit of a retest off of 557, but I'll maintain, what have you lost? And at the moment, you've just rejected the channel, and that can offer a speculative rejection trade, or you're looking at, trading that wave down. And, the only target that I see that's worth, this would be like by Friday. Um, oh, there's the ban. Man, every day, man. And I can't figure out why. So anyway, you have room to speculate for 548, right? And that's anticipating that we're going to break through all of this. And I just, I can't do that because it just hasn't triggered. So with that being said, again, it seems like a very speculative weekend setup for our ETFs. We also have, and if anybody can, drop the earnings chart as well. We also can take the time to start looking into next week and the data that it would present. We had some pretty decent, well, we had a pretty decent week as far as data is concerned, right? And that ended up being a catalyst for us to move. And so going into this week, this is Forex Factory. We have Fed Chair Powell speaking on Tuesday. Again, he's just talking. And then Thursday is really the only the only big data, right? Flash manufacturing. So we, look at the chart in front of us. Um, these catalysts are likely going to come from exterior sources rather than just data alone. Um, but anyway, with that being said, it's okay that if you can't find a setup on the queues, it doesn't mean you have to trade them. If you have the money to speculate, like somebody mentioned today, there's a lot of gaps and empty space below us. But again, that's going to be up to you whether or not that's in within your risk. So, um, all right. So I just want to go over a few things because this week I didn't add a ton of things to the watch list, but a lot of the things that we were looking at ended up working out. We had a couple day trades this week, Tesla, that were pretty fire, but all in all, the only things that I'm really interested in going into the weekend rather, Ellie, will you close that really quick, sweetheart? My door. Thank you. He's fine. Tell mommy Amazon's here with the new Rivian van. Um, so I want to talk about Neo because we're looking to close the book on this chapter. But I can't ignore the fact that today, from the top to the bottom, we tapped a perfect imbalance, right? And imbalances typically can be like a sign that the stock is, running dry of volume. So if you still have anything going out to next week or to the 25th, and I have a few contracts, the contracts that I have for the 25th, those are still up over 1,000%. Now I trimmed off and reduced risk again, and this is, uh, a testament to buying enough contracts because at some point, when you buy 100 or 500 and they're extremely low cost, and that's what you would have spent anyway on a real position on, something else, or, you know, what most people spend on, just two or three out of the money contracts for a day trade. That's what allows you the liberty to be able to let these things run. But with that being said, I still see 470. I don't see anything lost. And this was the same point that I had last night on why I have continued to hold is nothing has been lost. Sellers have not accomplished their goal. And as of right now, the 4 hour shows that we're still pretty good. Now, whether or not you want to roll back into this, that's entirely up to you, right? Now, we do have empty space up to cost basis at $5. So you take that information and you use it wisely. Um, but I think for what it's worth, right? This was a strong rip, and this is my definition of keeping your foot on the gas pedal, right? As we kept ripping, grabbed hold of something, gave it a retest, but we pulled ourselves back up by leaving empty space. And right now, we've done the same by retesting the median on or 50% mark on that big candle, and then of course pushing back up into resistance. So I very much still like Neo going up and hitting that 470 and hitting that $5 mark. So still really happy with the trade. So all right. Anything else? Let's see here. Um, over this PDD trade. I don't know if anybody has a longer expiration on this, but it hit the imbalance or a little bit past it today, ended up pulling back. But again, I bear the question, what have you lost? Now you do have a gap down below you, so hedging the Chinese stocks is, something I like to do. But I still see a target of 115.36. So, all right, if you have anything you would like for me to take a look at, let's go ahead and look at that now. Yeah, did anybody post? Let's see. Did anybody post that? There you go. Perfect. Thank you, Ivy. Cool. So this is next week's earnings, and we can brush over this and, maybe even after hours start looking at it. But already off the bat, right, we got a pretty big Wednesday ahead of us with Chipotle, IBM now, Google, and a lot of things are consolidating, or have this week kind of in a way where, you could expect them to go into earnings. And this is exciting. We've had a really good streak as far as earnings trades are concerned. And we have now a fat pick of what we want to get into, which means that I'm going to be picky, right? Just because we got a lot, I've had ones look just like this, and not a single one of them ended up living up to its potential or even had the potential in the first place. So, um, we'll go ahead and again, we'll acknowledge the chart now. And perhaps in after hours, I'll go ahead and start the recording back over, and we will chart earnings. So, if you'll remind me on that, Ivy. All right, go ahead and drop those requests. Let's see if we can't get through these before the end of the day. 24-hour candle closes. Looking for clarity. All right. ALK. So we added that one to the watch list. Not looking bad, right? And this is one that you have. Listen, I said it on Neo. I said it on a lot of stocks. I say it all the time. Is this a no-brainer stock, right? You can think all you want about it. You can fucking get, scared about it or whatever. There are two targets on ALK, and it is, yes, starting to look a little bit better closing. It's not, you could take, well, I guess that earnings, doesn't it? Is that next week?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So that's a no-brainer trade. I'll take it. I didn't say that. You don't know whether I'm taking it or not. But if I was, that's crazy
It would
how
be a no-brainer.
you could say that. So 62 is the first target to the upside, and the target to the downside, right? Because I don't ever go into these one-sided. Typically, let's see, the candle closes are up here, so we'll give it that. And I mean, why this just looks here. Let me insert. No,
I
The
figure
early
out monthly's two-potter just adds up.
the
what's up?
earliest expiration
It is the
contracts
20th.
is
Yeah.
28 days. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, does that not look something?
Beautiful.
So look, clip that. I did the same shit on Neo too. Aren't you supposed to be at a birthday party? Okay. No, no talking. All right. Hey, kid don't even like me. I'm just kidding. All right. So anyway, again, I'll talk about a few things here. Um, thank you guys for tightening up the spread. Whoever just did that, appreciate that. Um, but uh, but yeah, 6250s are up there. Longer expirations could look at 70. Um, I think, worst case and last thing I need to do here is we need to look at earnings, right? And this might play into what we do here, but the situation is, again, we're coming out of this large area of consolidation. That's a decent candle. Okay, big earnings there. So it's been a while since you. So this is definitely one that I don't know if I'm going to go super heavy on because of the way that it performs. Let's see, big wall. So you grind. So honestly, it's probably a good thing that we have longer expirations. And I would say the most likely thing here is that this takes time after earnings, but I still like it. How do you sign up for the Discord? How long have you been following me? Who just asked that question in the waiting room? Somebody said, so from now on, there will be no more workshop boot camps. No. I'm not doing a live workshop anymore. No. That was the last one. Whoever was there was there. Now, I mean, the workshop is done, and I think it's perfect. So, okay. You go to my website and you can sign up through there. Yeah, as long as you feel good about, you know, signing up and stuff like that. And again, we don't do signals. I'm sure you know that. We do, or our intention here is to build independent traders. So just keep that in mind. But for those of you guys who are, again, thinking about signing up, I really do hope that you guys go and utilize all of the free information. Some people end up making the money and they don't need to join. Some people end up making the money and then they want to join because they want to be a part of the Discord. So exercise your options before you get it, because never mind. All right. Let's see. That was a good joke. Nobody laughed at it, so fuck you.
Nah,
70
you're good. You're good.
no, nope. I don't want it now. I don't want it. I don't want it now. I don't want it now.
Let me know you want something else, puppy.
All right, so that's why I'm gonna quit. So if you're in XYZ, what's the point of getting out? Right? You had a little wick down, got scary, a little scary, but you are moving in the right direction, and that's all you can ask for when it comes to XYZ. It does have a little range here that it's building, but at this point, you just need to know what's underneath you, right? What boxes need to hold, and that's right here, right? 71. All right, we got NU, I stop lost out. What did you take? To the upside?
1450s up.
Yeah, I bet you did stop out. Hot damn. I rejected the top right there. Nasty.
Yeah, yeah. But that was a good exit, right? I got out at 13 when we closed under
Pops.
1383.
Oh, perfect exit. That's flawless. Yeah, you can't do it any better than that. Damn. We about to get hit by a thunderstorm, dude. It's sun shining outside, and I just heard a loud thunderclap. What the fuck is really going on? I'm sorry, guys. Am I unprofessional? All right, anyway. So yeah, NU has a box below it. It is making empty space to the downside, but I kind of feel like this one might be able to progress a little bit lower into this floor at 1245. But are you trying to take it again? Like back up?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait though till we
So,
get above where we rejected.
I mean,
Ah, damn. What you think? Do you have a better idea?
I come up with one. I think I do, but I mean, it's tough taking it over the weekend, off of that pullback.
Oh, so you're thinking bounce off of that?
Possible, but
That's
the bounce right now, again, when you bounce the question, the way that so there is a way to know whether you're going to reverse, right? And it's by what's above and what's below. So we're looking at 1325 off of that bounce. Now that you have bounced, you haven't really done much with it, right? So either
yeah.
you're building up for that bounce, so it will give you time by moving, I would assume. So check this out. If this is going to be a bounce, you're going to bounce at cost basis and make a box right here. And then the floor up above you, set an alert on 1325, because when that's reclaimed, take that up. Now, if it continues moving down, then you can use the floor of that box, right? Or the bounce below off of that underneath target. So, but
That's what Uber.
coin. All right. So you guys know I'm not going to be able to really help, but I will say after today's wick, that's nasty. That's real nasty. And I don't know how, I mean, damn, my neck hurts. Yeah, man, I try to stay away from shit like this, obviously. There is speculation, I'm sure, with the potential downside of things, but you also have, you fucking pulled back pretty quickly. And so a lot of the times you'll do this whipsaw thing and create trend. And that might not be clear yet, but I think a lot of the times I'll do this, right? Is I'll start to try to pull out those context clues to see if, so follow me here. Do you see this? Do you see that like kind of skidding and then release? That lets me know. Feel me? Now I can't put that shit in a book because that's kind of off the that's kind of
you repeat that?
What, the channel?
No, well, you just said I missed it.
So I was
Good for you, man.
so if before you have like in these big rip up, right, and or you have a big rip up, and then it turns into like this crazy long-legged doji where there's two fat wicks on both sides, which is what you're looking at here, right? That's the wick up, that's the wick down, and that's where you open, and that's why the candle looks like that. So this, and then we observe that, well, there's empty space in there. So what does that tell me? There's likely going to be another inside candle. Now, in order for what I'll do is when I see a wide fluctuation in price, that reverses back down, right? So it loses everything that it gained. This is a lot of the times when the start of a small downtrend will begin. You guys can be recording this or taking notes or whatever. This will be on YouTube. You can clip it there. So what am I going to do, right? I'm going to reuse the box, right? Now that's for structure, but for channels, I'm going to grab the open and that bounce and the top, and I'm looking for points of contact, or I'm looking to see within that channel, that median, whether or not it has any confluence. And you can see that it skids, and that's what I'm saying is like when you get here, it takes this slow approach until it actually has the volume to drop down. That's when you get a candle close, and that's where it actually goes and retests. So I get multiple touches, right? Now this is again this is not a for sure science. Okay, this is some harebrained shit that I came up or that I do, because I know how channels work, and I know that there's math behind it, like at least in terms of the way that it's formed. And so when I see a wide fluctuation in price, especially when you dump and you bounce, you reverse, and then you come right back down, but you don't make a new low, you make a new higher low. Yeah, I'm going to start looking because, man, I tell you what, I have nailed some crazy trades off of the combination of finding a channel before anybody else does and finding the empty space within it. But that being said, I would assume because of everything that I found in here that there would likely be a candle that looks, not really good at drawing candles, sorry. Forgive my candle work. That looks like that. So I don't know. Don't quote. Well, fuck it. Remind me about that on Monday, right? At the end of the day on Monday, we'll look back and we'll see how that played out. But what that means to me is wait. Okay? That's what it means to me. US.
Roger that.
I know that was a lot, but that's like when setups do that kind of do you guys see how like more complicated shit requires more time, right? Hence why I stay away from complicated shit. Sometimes I can catch some crazy trades or some fire trades off of, those weird, setups, but yeah, I try to stick to the simple shit. So that's like everything people didn't know. Gang. What is this? What? Oh, damn, it's still going. Well, the weekly is telling me that you have a potential target, considering the fact that you are grabbing hold of the floor and getting above the resistance that has affected you. I would be looking for a price target at 1711. You got an insane candle close here, but once you get there, well, I can't really speak for what happens when you get there because, again, we don't know. But I think looking at the weekly, the potential immediately is there. Beyond that, there's a giant gap up there. What does QuantumScape do? I know they do AI shit, but are they doing quantum research, like quantum chip shit? Yeah, I mean, damn, that thing could really go. All right, let's keep it moving. VZ earnings. So personal take here. I don't trade those earnings. I have learned my lesson. I lost probably about $2,000 on two different fucking earnings trades on Verizon and T-Mobile. I think one of them worked, but barely, and then the other one's just nightmare fuel. That being said, Verizon did give me or has given you some decent, more decent earnings in the last couple of years. It's been years since I've traded it. And so again, we're looking for an obvious setup or something clean. So where are you at? You're sitting on this floor here. You've got empty space up above or a gap all the way to 42.77, and you have a target down below of 39. So my guess is 39 and 37. Now that's not a box. Forgive me for calling it one. It's a range. So these are just three separate targets. Okay. So, I mean, again, just because I don't like something doesn't mean that you have to not like something, clearly. Let's see here. DocuSign. That's interesting, but I know can be nightmare fuel. This one burned people last time. So you filled up that empty space. I mean, again, what more can you really ask for on recovery? So any stop losses would be at 77.50 candle close underneath that, but ultimately it would be, yeah, I mean, with that type of recovery right there, you either are going to build and stay in a longer weekly range that looks like that, and you can see how perfect that is. But do you have confirmation in the candle close outside of that? No. Can this candle open up and bust out of here? For sure. Jesus Lord, dude. It is rocking outside my house. Oh, now people think I'm lying. Thanks, AccuWeather. All right, well, where are these lightning strikes coming from? So anyway, yeah, 79.36 and 84.60. Those are the two targets up above. So, I mean, honestly, it's not a bad setup to try to get up and out of there. Snow up, please. Why are you yelling, Alex? All right, so again, let's break this one down because you are, yes, above the floor. You are above where you were resisting before. So the first and immediate target is 221, right? And that's empty space here as well. Look, you're holding onto your floor. Look at the wick. So that if that's what you're trading, that's where you're aiming. If that's what can be broken up above, then you're looking for a break over the top, and you're looking out here to the higher time frame, 24 hour, and you're looking for, I don't have anything other than the median at 226 and 220 or 235. So snow 235. There is empty space in up towards 265, but that's a little bit longer. 1 second, guys. Holy shit! Let me get an airstruck right now. Where? Yo, what the hell? Thunder? Thank you, Ellie. I'm sorry. It's a fat cumulonimbus. Bring us with you. I don't have a long enough cord, Chief. I'm almost done putting my office together, though. Take a long time to do things sometimes. Let's see here. Bank of America. Did I do that one? Yeah, I did. Okay. What do you want out of this? Bank up? Why? It's like, shit. Oh, you want that little pocket of empty space, don't you? Don't you, Dust? All right.
Yeah.
Nope. So we got to go with the horizontal here. Oh, that's poopy. That's a poopy range. I don't like that. I don't like that. Damn. Dust said, let me find the hardest fucking shit. So what was that? Not even a box, more of a range. That's what you're refusing. So hold on. Everything does not want that floor. And that's what you're closing up against. So ultimately, I would say 47.50 and outside of 47.83, that's a no-brainer, as well. And that's a huge, I mean, look at how many times you tapped up against that wall, and you immediately reject. So honestly, you built a little base underneath you. So not a bad close. When you pick contracts, do you look at open interest or delta at all? Uh, I, I hate to say this, but I mean, like, not a lot. I mean, I know that it's important in some situations, yes. In most situations, I mean, target-based contracts, guys, like they work. I don't need to like break down the science on them all the time. There's some there. So let me explain when I'm focused on that. If I have to play 3 or 4 steps out of the money, if I have earnings, right? If that stock is widely and heavily traded because of some sort of news, those things matter, right? On an everyday, regular basis, like Neo, if you would have bought my contracts or looked at my contracts based on the open interest or the delta, you would have been like, yeah, fuck no, you know? So it's like, I teach it because it's important, right? It is important to know how to, you need to know what you're looking at. But and I'm just being honest with you, on an everyday basis, no, because I am looking again to capture a phenomenon that I know works. Empty space, fast movement, target based contracts on the other side of that empty space. If they don't have open interest, if they don't have delta, all of those Greeks are going to move, right, in my favor rapidly because of the increase in volume and the underlying asset. See what I'm saying? So, do I need to focus on that all the time? No. But knowing how it works, yes, you cannot be without knowledge on that one. So, oh yeah, we did that one. Nightmare fuel. You. I actually looked at this one the other day. I have been holding you for fucking 6 years. Yeah,
Literally 6 years.
literally 6 years. It was a amateur air that I decided I was going to
6 use.
6 years. Yeah. You know how much I made off of it? $800. Boy. Yeah. We're we make decisions sometimes. Anyway, this one, hopefully dreams do come true one day. But I've been, again, looking at this one to potentially create a nice channel here, which it seems like it's doing now. So my expectations, and I've been expecting this for a while since we recovered that floor. It's just not something that I think is super interesting for our strategy until it starts breaking up into this area. Once it gets outside of the 20 into the 20s and 16s, that's when I'm like, okay, now we might be able to hit a fat one. But ultimately, I think we're heading towards that major $11 resistance. So, is PDD still in play? Yeah, it is. It is still in play. It's about, I mean, again, for a Chinese stock, it's about as good as you're going to get on the weekly and the 24. If you go and you look at how, listen, the rules bend with this with Chinese stocks. I'm being dead ass. Like you can go and look at some of these gap ups. Like what indication did you have that was going to gap up? Hardly any. Um, so I don't always take like, yeah, that's a frail candle right there, but that doesn't mean that it can't open up. But if you are trading Chinese stocks, it is important in this environment to have hedges. So CRML. So what I said this morning is still true to right now, which is 550, 540, or yeah, 540. That is the target up above following 552. you know, but today's candle close obviously might throw a wrench in things because you have retraced back down, which leads you to the hourly, which shows you that you have a range, right? So again, this is a situation where you are reading and you are reacting. You have a three-tiered box, like a wedding cake. I was looking at Baba and I don't understand how to trade it literally at all. Welcome to the club, dude. There is, I say that as a joke because like there are occasions that I mean, we've slapped the ever living dog shit. I mean, I've had 1,000, 2,000% trades on Baba, but I trade it and then I get the hell out of there because most of the time I can't see it either. And so my solution to not being able to see it is get the fuck out of there and don't worry about it because if it's not clear, you know, PDD had a good candle close going into empty space, so I took it. That was the simple message. When it showed me that, I took it. Now, other than that, you know, on a larger scale, yeah, those stocks are a bit tough for me to look at. So if it doesn't make sense, you know, a lot of people will be like, "This doesn't make sense. I need to go and figure it out." Like, maybe not all problems are meant to be solved. Maybe you don't actually win anything if you solve it. Okay, so you got a little Soundhound box at 12, basically 12.95 or $13. So outside of 13, you know, we could look at this one. That's the hourly. Now targets up above, that's a little bit more slim because the floor that you need to reclaim is 13.45, and that and I actually don't know. So let me be specific here. This box is showing you a range, right? But it is here that you actually have one. And I think that that would be 1475. And that's where you could look for the next target. And yes, there is likely going to be continuation of the upside if that breaks because you do have empty space up to 1960. Oof. I don't think he reads the TikTok chat. I just answered a question from the TikTok chat. Shoma. I'd make sure that I get all the requests from the Discord first. You know, seeing as they paid me money and all. Let's see, 24-hour time frame. What are you looking to do this one down? So is that the kind of candle close we want up against an imbalance? You know, is it lost that? Is it closing flat up against it? It's holding it. And with the empty space up above, you know, you would need a gap down.
Could go anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean like you could literally just wait and try to react to this one. But at the same time, I think there's also possibly a little channel action here. Check that out.
Yeah.
So,
And also, I was looking at the fact, like on your chart, we kind of rejected that 2 hour box above.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that take that in consideration. I mean, the fact that you're holding underneath it just tells you where you need to get in.
Yeah.
Uh, Marvel up. Oh, sir. Boring power hour. Yeah, I don't even know why they actually named it that. End of the day is hardly ever power. All right. Oscar Health. Lord have mercy. It's going to pump the CEO open up a lot of calls. So I mean, if you're just now seeing this because he filed, um, he could already have gotten rid of those. But I see a stock that's losing its floor. Now, if you believe that it's going to go upside, then there's got to be something on the chart that's going to tell you where that happens, right? And it's going to be step one. It's going to be step I would go ahead and focus on the most recent price action and just go ahead and box that up. 2, 3, and then back up. So, EA, Jesus Lord. I mean, same thing I've been saying every single day, that it's opened up in the same exact range. And I mean, it's hard. Listen, you're drifting into support. I call this one by Monday at by the end of the day on Monday. You should be making a move. Now, again, you're in a place where you can't necessarily say, one or the other. You do have a wall here. You do have, well, you do know where, right? So it's 240 up, and then ultimately down, it would be 219. And you can look at this both ways. Um, Boring out because it takes a lot of energy to sit behind a computer when the market is doing nothing. What do you mean by that? Amazon coming into earnings too, I believe, and that one has a 228.60 target directly above it. That again, does that make for a solid target risk to reward? No. So are you hoping for a punch back over what on the 4 hours? A multitude of different boxes, right? One here, so 231 and 237, and maybe you get Amazon into all-time highs with that push. This one again for an earnings trade, or even just looking at it down, right? There's so much underneath you and so little empty space that you would have to add, this would be longer expiration, and you would have to step by step. So that's an odd box right there. Okay, there you go. I see it. Yeah, so you have a step-by-step process starting with 221.80, 217.60, 213. Then you would, I think, at that point you'd be barreling. So, oh, I got you. All right. BRB. Wait, is that an acronym or are you bit mind invert? Jesus, Lord have mercy. My fucking eyes. Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's not really much I can offer on this, dude. I mean, and this looks like computer sex. Before, this is lines of code, basically. I mean, I can barely make out boxes. Barely. I mean, I could see them, but like, yeah, yeah, you filled a gap, I guess, maybe, man. But dude, I'm faking it if I'm trying to give you analysis on this straight up. Uh, Jesus, Dell. Sorry, guys. Oh, did I? BRMP. Leverage shares of CRM. Holy shit, dude. They are leveraging everything. Uh, it's got to be new or something. Why are you guys making this so hard? So hard. Pause. That. I mean, fuck, dude. So floor one is recovered. You have a empty space up to 1542. If that can punch back, maybe you go and you hit the 1750s. But with this much data, dude, I'm guessing. Everything's a guess. Yeah, maybe there's a channel in there, but I can't. Bull. It's moving in the right direction, right? And I'm not a big fan of this box that I have drawn. I'm not even really a big fan of whatever the fuck that is right there. Um, but it does have a floor, and you have recovered that in that 1612. So looking at the range itself, I'd say 1730 is your next target, and then it's outside of 1875 that you have targets of 20, 21, and 2235. Lord have mercy. So Dell, what are we capturing here? Okay, so you're gonna reuse this old box because it's clearly that's what you're fighting with. I would go ahead and assume safely that you're looking at 135.33 next for a target, but I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah, this thing's already ripped hard up to it. It's closing at it, so you might see a wick and then it could pull back. So I'm not sure what your intentions are on this one, but I think 148 would be the only target. So uh Apple, yeah, so same analysis as this morning, man. There's nothing else I can say. The only thing we're doing here, guys, is if you're in, you're hunkered down, you got, as much protection as you could possibly get. At this point, it'd probably be smarter to use the Qs or spy, or something of that nature. But for the love of God, stop. Thank you, dude. Well, you gotta stop. Didn't even hit you. Don't look at me like that. My cat scratches himself by the window. He'll do that shit at 1 o'clock in the morning. It sounds like somebody's knocking on my window. Scares the shit out of me. It's a headache, but you know what? It's right when we give up on it that it's going to do something. We know that it's going to do something, and we know where the targets are. So we just got to be patient. I mean that 228 just looks sweet. Usually when I get out, it does the move. Getting stopped out doesn't mean you can't find a better position, right? Or longer expiration, better price target, try to find better risk to reward, size down a little bit than from the last one. And then, pray to God that this thing runs when we can catch it. So he starts scratching my bed. Hell yeah. Am I
Are you
in? Huh?
are you swinging anything?
I got ALK and some Neos and couple are just little IWM speculation. That's between me and
Pata,
prayer. Yes.
are you done with the tickers? Can I get in line?
Why didn't you just get in line in the first place? Now you just wait to the end of the line. That was very polite of you, but yes, you can drop your request.
Okay,
Are
UNH.
you speculating IWM?
What am I speculating on? I don't know.
IWM
You tell me. No, I'm just kidding.
down.
There's maybe down, maybe up. Hold on, we'll go over it again. Try to
Yeah,
drop
this
some
one's
content.
slapping like 270 and then 250 ultimately.
What do you want? I think this channel is in play.
Down.
I think there's a 265
Yeah,
potential 263, but right now I think the immediate target, because here's where you're at, right? Look left, top candle right there, 280, 280, and then you kind of have to split that in half. It is a range. That's 277, but I would be looking at 270,
yeah. So
down through.
would you draw a box there? I mean, that
Yeah.
is like a resistance and
Oh,
9.5
oh,
times.
I would draw a range. Like that would be
Yeah,
my
like a range. Yeah,
range.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. ALK 70 is too far. Um I think so, unless you got another expiration. Don't settle. If it doesn't fit the risk, then don't do it. It's just that simple. Doesn't matter what you've seen me do in the past. So I'm not making a move yet on Starbucks, but it did wake up against a cost basis I have on a lower time frame. And so today's high is ultimately going to be another trigger for me to take it to look for a break of 95.80. But we can be patient with this one, I think.
Potter, speculation, DTD.
TTD?
For, yeah, like on the 24-hour, the way I'm looking at it is if this candle closes where it's at or under like 80, there is empty space below it to 77.
Yeah, there's a 79 target too as well, that opening price candle that fell. And that looks like your old cost basis as well. So I would say that's gonna be a temperamental area. The one thing I'm not really digging about this thing is the way that it's falling, right? And this is where I'll go down to that lower time frame, and you start to see this like angle. That's my cue, right? Because if I'm looking at something that's already pulled back pretty strong, I'll start looking, right? So looking at the compression here, points of contact lining up, right? And then I pull it up to the top. Like, let's just say that we don't hold or grind into this and then basically curl back over and move through that up here to create an actual trend line. So I don't feel, you did come back down and you did retest, and so um, as far as the candle close goes on the 24-hour, yes, it doesn't, the weakness and all that's, whatever, and the channel is still speculative. But ultimately the next target is, yes, 79, and that is the top, basically the top of a 24-hour box. So you have to get a candle close underneath that. And then yes, absolutely, underneath 79.50, that's, again, no brainer.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Oh, I didn't see the gifts. Thanks for the gifts, guys. Appreciate it. Can I help you choose a contract for OKTA? Only if you get me a fake diploma from your university. I'm just kidding. I need to put plaques on my wall. I don't have anything. Let me borrow some plaques, dude. I know you got some. Let me borrow one plaque from everybody. I need something from a good university. Yeah. I got you. I got you on a stamp from an Asian country, maybe a PhD. Hell yeah. Call me Dr. Potter, dude. That's sick. That
Yo,
sounds like my next evolution. What's up?
so would you for docu? Because it's pushing up here, and I see 1, 2, 3 towards the top.
I will look at that in 1 second. Let me. Sorry. What?
Docu.
No, hold on. I'm doing John's OKTA real quick.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. You got 2 minutes. Contracts. So what are you aiming for, the floor? Or are you trying to aim for what are you aiming for? I'd say right now 103, anything in the hundreds. Well, I mean, then it would be somewhere in the 97s or 98. Oh, time-wise, that happens next week. So by next week, yeah, by next week. Now the hundreds, that's, you got to add a week for that. DocuSign. So what was your question? I'm sorry. Three against the top, right? Oh, he's gone now. But yes, he's bad. 84.50 is the target up there for DocuSign. So I mean, this is about as good as a candle close, same thing as last time, but This time you're coming up to it. So if you're a DocuSign, you know, again, you have a median target, 83 and 84 target there.
Yeah, I'm here. I was just looking at the contracts.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad if you're taking that. I have crystal bricks for years of service at defunct Proterra. What the fuck does that even mean? Crystal bricks? What is that?
I feel like I shouldn't Google that at work.
Do you really want to know?
I do.
They go for 10 a key.
What? Oh shit.
I'm just messing around. I don't even know.
That's funny as fuck. The crystal brick market is growing. I would like your crystal bricks. Please give them to me. Yeah, I'll be shitting crystal bricks, dude. All right. Pins. Ooh, points. Pins. Pinterest. That one has a 3850 target. The candle close up against the walls. Yeah. 3850. Jesus Christ. All right. So a couple of things really quickly, and then I want to go over earnings really quickly. We'll just brush through the list and see if there's anything that really pops out. One, if you guys are in the Discord, a lot of you guys have, made, and again, if you don't want to, or that's totally fine, but I figured it's better to remind people on here because you guys are actually listening. I know some of you guys don't see the notifications, but if you are, if you are profitable, or if you've been profitable, or making new strides, all that good shit, I'm making a video for testimonials. Again, you don't feel pressure because of that, but I'm gonna obviously put those in there. Secondly, we had a pretty kick-ass week, and then I know today some of you guys kicked ass as well. So if you guys have anything you want to post in the games page, I'm gonna be making a video on that as well. But other than that, going into next week, we don't have any crazy data. I don't have a watch list quite yet. We'll see if we can't find that in earnings or this Sunday. Try to create a new watch list. Those of you guys who hold your own study groups inside of this Discord, you guys obviously are, and I see you guys doing watch lists, but if you guys want it, just an idea, but you guys could be doing, think about how many people are, if I see sometimes you guys got 15, 20 people in there. If you guys have all heads looking at every sector, you could get that done in 30 minutes, just scanning through and looking for good setups to chart. Like you could literally just click on them. Okay, that one, that looks good, and then go back, chart them, fine tune them, and build a watch list that you can bring to the table as well. So just throwing that out there. The reason why I'm saying that is because I I like that you guys do the Sunday meets. I really, really do. But I wonder if there is too much over analyzing, right? A good setup is a good setup. And so does it need to have, like, yes, it's good to have all these eyes looking for them. But once we've identified one and we've decided that that is a good setup, what use is charting it over and over again? Or having if you're looking at the charts or doing it that way, like that's cool. But ultimately, finding a good setup or building a good watch list, I think is important, because you might come to the conclusion after an hour of looking at one chart that this is not something that you're going to trade. So just something to think about. But all right, now I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.